Welcome to the Moms That Read podcast. I'm Katarina.
I'm Kaylee.
And I'm McKenzie. If you missed the first episode of the podcast, we kind of picked a couple different things we wanted to talk about with this podcast. We talked about our reads for the year, best and worst, things that were coming up. And this episode is going to focus a little bit on like things that we're currently reading and also all the gossip surrounding Fourth Wing and with the release of Onyx Storm coming up. So we wanted to put our 2 cents out there into the world.
We are all obsessed with Fourth Wing.
We are all wearing our matching
If you're listening,
War College hoodies.
Basket till I die. Like Rebecca Yaros is the Zaddy till I die. Rebecca Yaros is literally the only reason I got back into reading. Like since I graduated college and started teaching, and like I didn't read for fun. And then Fourth Wing, I made fun of my friend so much because she was like, "Read this book. It's about dragons." And I was like, "Megan, what? This is horrible sounding." And then I was like, "Oh God, I can't put it down."
It's the first book I read of 2024, and I went on to read 100 books. So thank you, Rebecca.
Every book of hers is amazing, which is why we're reading Variation.
True.
This month.
Yes.
It's our book club book.
So you should read it and check out Fable because we'll be talking about it on
Moms That Read book club.
Love that.
So what are y'all reading right now?
So I'm psycho. I do a physical book and I do an audiobook because I drive a good bit to work. So right now, my physical book I'm reading is Variation. And the book that I'm listening to is Daughter of No Worlds.
I've heard
2
that's
different
good.
genres, but
It's so good.
I'm excited. I'm only like 8 chapters in, but it's really good. It's got
read
me.
the whole book. So good.
But did not finish the series.
No, I did not finish the series.
Couldn't have been that
so
good.
do we trust her opinion?
Absolutely no room to talk. None.
I know, but I admit that I don't finish series.
I admitted
You were
I
like,
didn't
"Yeah,
finish
it was
the
good.
series.
I just didn't finish
It was
it.
good, but books can
But-
be good without making me want to finish the series.
I agree
That's
with that.
fair.
That's why
fair.
I have
Like
like
Divine
100
Rivals.
finished series.
I can't support that.
Speaking of
I-
Rebecca, I am reading Wilder.
I read that
Rebecca
one.
Yaros.
That one
Haven't
was
read
good.
it yet.
That was really good.
It's
She
good.
won it at our book club
I did.
gift swap and stole it from me. So I have
did
not read it
steal
yet.
I stole it twice, I think.
I
I've
tried to
given
hide
it
so
now
no one
as
would-
2 gifts to people
they
without
both
them
loved it.
reading it, and then I finally had to read it, and it's
Yeah.
Who else read it?
my friend Madison, Megan's sister. I gave it to her, so I love it.
Nice.
Even though I didn't realize until afterwards that it was from 2016.
Yeah, I could kind of tell it was some of her like
early
earlier
work.
work.
Her newer stuff's better.
So
but,
good though.
Oh,
But it was still good.
Well, I need to borrow that since I didn't.
It was just
I am reading, or I'm about to finish The Perfect Son by Frida McFadden, which y'all haven't read any Frida, have you?
I
You
have
read-
never read. I think I've read maybe 1 thriller book total.
Well, Frida's great.
out of my whole life.
But-
out of my whole life.
What? Give me some titles. I know
The
Frida
Boyfriend,
McFadden.
The Inmate, The Perfect Son, The
Didn't she write
Coworker,
like the house?
The
or
Housemaid.
something
Yes.
like
So
that?
the Office people.
What?
Coworker, boyfriend, like anyone you'd meet at the office.
I guess.
Accurate.
No, I have
Um,
not read any.
I didn't think so. So this one was fine. You kind of, once you read too many of her books, you realize she has kind of a formula. So I figured this one out. And it's the
okay.
first one I've figured out. The rest of them are fantastic. But because I figured this one out, it kind of was like, I expected that. No plot
Yeah.
twist. Like most of them are like jaw dropping, like, whoa, I did not
Yeah.
expect that. This one was not that way. So
I need
it was
to read
fine.
one.
I
gave-
think I need to.
she's great. I would not suggest that one. If you're going to read a Frida
Isn't
book,
she? Okay.
Which one should I read?
What's the best
probably
one?
The Inmate, The Boyfriend, or The Housemaid.
Okay. I've heard of The Inmate and The Boyfriend,
Yeah.
but thriller is not my book of choice.
If you want to
so,
quit,
no.
like I can read her books in like 24 hours. So if you want to quick read just to like
Okay.
palate cleanse, I don't know if
I
they're
feel that
palate
way
cleansers,
about
but
thrillers. I have very minimal, like the house
thrillers and romance.
across the
I can-
lake.
Yeah.
I love that.
So
I love a lot of his books. That one was a little odd, but I don't
About-
like paranormal. That one's
Yeah.
very paranormal.
I couldn't read it past 11 o'clock. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna set this one down.
But it's also why I didn't like Verity and Layla.
oh, see, I kind of like that psychoness.
Okay, you want to know something else? I've never read a Colleen Hoover book.
I've read almost all of them.
I've
She's
never-
actually what got me back into reading.
Never read a Colleen
I've
Hoover
learned
book.
like 2. Doesn't she have like 27?
I have no
That's
idea.
fun. Yeah.
I went to go see the movie. It
That's
ends with us.
It was good. And
was
the
good.
best part about it was my tears ricochet. That was the best part of the whole movie.
But I've never read one of her
National
books, so-
anthem. Just everyone stand.
That's funny. So Onyx Storm comes out,
Mhm.
and we're all excited about it. We're actually going to the
Midnight premiere.
midnight premiere at Books A Million.
Yes, this is bringing back Twilight flashbacks. She wouldn't know anything about this.
I have not read or watched Twilight.
Oh my, we're not.
We need
I
to
would-
have a mom
can't even-
sleepover and
Oh my gosh, binge watch all of
the
them.
movies.
I'm here for that.
I literally, whenever it was rainy in like October, I bought all of them on Amazon and watched every single one of them again.
Yeah.
That's what I do every year for Harry Potter.
Okay, well, you need
Okay,
to replace
Twilight.
it with Twilight.
It would take you half the time.
Half the time. But
I
it's
did it during
like-
maternity leave.
Not for the first time.
No,
Oh, yeah,
no.
obviously.
Me and the child watched all of them. She loved them.
I mean, now watching
For what's-
them, I'm like,
That's so funny.
this is a little cringy, but it's like in the
The
best
makeup
way.
and the
In the
first
best
one is
way.
probably
In a
my
nostalgic
favorite
way. I
one.
probably
Yeah.
wouldn't think that.
Yes.
It's so cringy in the best way. And then Jacob's glow up just gets me every time.
Every time I love watching the first one because I mean something about like the 2007 cinematic world of
It's just so bad.
the dazzling skin and his fast
Don't
running.
give too much away. Don't give too much away.
I
She
mean,
has
I
to
know the
read
gist
it.
of it. Everyone
It's
talks about
so
it.
good. Team
It
Edward
is.
all the way. I
That
mean,
was
we
like
used to go to Hot Topic before the midnight release and buy our Team Edward and Jacob shirts to
Uh-huh.
wear to the movie theater.
Absolutely.
I was telling
I
them
had a bitten apple
Ugh.
shirt.
I think I had the one of them laying in the field together, like looking at
So
other,
awkward.
or like the prom like scene.
yeah.
I was telling
That's
them
funny.
if I could have gotten a tattoo at 15, it would have been and so the lion fell in love with the lamb.
Are you
Like
glad you didn't?
But that's so iconic.
I don't know, I probably still would. Like
Yeah.
Twilight was like my gateway drug for fantasy.
All of us.
Yes.
Mine was like probably Hunger Games.
See,
Those
I
kind
am not a
I
dystopian
wasn't
reader.
into-
Oh, I love
Caleb
Hunger
hates
Games.
me for that because my husband, I don't. He loves Divergent and
Oh, same.
Hunger
Never seen
Games.
it.
Same.
Pass.
I've seen Hunger Games, but I haven't seen Divergent.
I've watched like, one
okay.
of them.
Divergent, the first 1.5 are really good, and then it gets really bad. The books are amazing,
Okay.
but the book, the
I'm not a
ending of
I
the
dystopian
don't know
reader.
that I'm interested.
oh my
in
gosh, I
reading
love it. The ending of the books is completely different than the ending of the movies. Oh, it's terrible. So, but it's fine. That's what got me into it.
Do y'all want to start off with talking about some
Theories?
books we're excited to read?
Oh,
or do you
let's
wanna
do that
go
first.
theories?
Books we're excited to read.
Yeah.
I just made my list.
Okay.
I have my list too.
The first book I'm excited to read is a series. It is the Ravenhood series.
I've
Which
heard
one is
so
that?
much about it. I don't know anything about it.
Exodus.
Oh,
Flop.
yes. Okay.
I don't know anything about it though.
I know that one of my friends, hey Shelby, I know you're listening to this, sent me pictures of her bawling her eyes out.
What's it
And
about?
said, I have no idea.
Is it romance?
I just know that she was crying and said it was like she's never had a book make her feel that way. And so it was like immediately added to my TBR.
That's how I feel about
So,
Binding 13.
yeah.
I've never read it, but I've heard that it's like
It's
like
like a
that.
big series too.
Oh my gosh, the
Yeah.
books are like
The books of
700
Tommen,
pages.
right? Is that what
Mhm.
it is? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But
gonna
I
have
think
to
it'd
be
be
a
a really
listener.
good book club
Mhm.
book.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Another
I got it
book.
for Christmas.
My series that I have added on here is the Kindred's Curse series, like Spark of the Everflame.
Oh
Mhm.
yes. And
And
those
complete.
are short, so you could
They
read the
get
whole
bigger
series.
as they go.
They're
so
not that,
like
even still, they're not that
no,
big.
and there's
So you
one
can read it
more to
pretty
be
quick.
added, but I've heard nothing.
Is there
but
3 so
great
far?
things. 3 out of the 4, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm excited.
The first book's like 300 pages,
I'm
probably.
starting to
Yes.
see that everywhere. On
Yes.
TikTok,
It's
so
everywhere.
I'm excited to
Mhm.
read that as well.
I want to read Metal Slinger. I saw
Oh,
you
that's on
added
my
it.
list.
Yes.
Oh my-
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I have heard to go into it completely blind.
Oh, like not even read the description?
No, read nothing.
I don't know anything about it.
Which you
either.
already probably did, didn't you?
No.
So
Oh, I
this
always
is
do it
sounding
before.
like it should be maybe
book
a
club book.
February book club book.
Maybe.
Metal Slinger.
Maybe.
Ooh,
It's like
yeah.
huge right now on Kindle Unlimited.
I
don't
am
know.
that person though. I have to read the
The blurb.
yes, because
do
if
too.
not, I can't go in there blindfolded or I'm just like
I
What am I
don't
getting at?
read
Mhm.
the blurb until I'm about to read the book. So like,
Okay.
otherwise
you.
it's just too much.
I think that's
I'm
the
like
teacher
whatever.
in me. I'm
But
like,
I also
gotta stay to
judge books
standards.
by its covers.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
if a cover's really pretty, I'm probably gonna read it.
Yeah. Same.
But also, I want to read Quicksilver, and that cover's horrible.
I got the alternative cover on Amazon.
Do
I
you
got
know they
ran.
don't sell the alternative cover anymore?
Yeah,
I went to
don't.
go buy
out, like,
it
a
and they
black
don't
market
have
buy?
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
Wow.
I've
I
bought-
just ordered it maybe a couple months ago too.
yeah
It's
I've bought it
gorgeous.
before.
It's so pretty.
my cover's
awful.
stupid,
The man with the tear.
I don't understand.
and the
have no-
butterflies on its shoulders.
I don't understand what she was thinking.
I hope it all
with that
connects
one.
to the story. It's
Yeah.
Maybe
but that one's on my.
It is on my
TBR
list.
Speaking of fantasy-ish books,
Mhm.
I want to read the Book of Azrael.
I've heard of it.
What
What
y'all
is that?
seen
But it's
that?
like dark, isn't it?
I think it's a little on the darker side, but I'm also interested in dipping my toe into the darker side. You know what I mean?
You didn't want to read Butcher and Blackbird.
That's just cringe to me, to be honest. I don't want to read about serial killers, but
Okay,
Okay.
like that just didn't interest me. I don't want to read about them like cannibaling each other. You know what I mean?
Ew,
That's just
fast.
I'm good
Yeah.
on that. But I've seen nothing but good things about this one, and apparently the FMC is like super strong, powerful.
See,
So I'm
love
feeling
that.
like it's another Aelin thing, maybe.
Oh.
I'm interested.
Okay.
I'm very interested.
Have y'all heard of Love Letter to Whiskey?
No.
It's apparently a romance that is like gut wrenching.
Oh.
So I think I
Oh,
might read
no.
that like after Variation.
Okay.
I've heard it's really good.
Okay.
So we'll see.
I also added Trial of the Sun Queen. I saw it on a TikTok that someone was like, if you could get hooked in less than 50 pages, this is the book. And it's a part of a series. I don't know how many books are out for it, but it's on the top of my list.
I've heard it's like Bachelor and Hunger Games.
Oh no.
It was giving fantasy on the cover. So
I think it's like a mix of both. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. It looked good.
like Bachelor, Rose Bachelor, like
I have no idea.
the TV series.
Yeah.
Oh.
But like mixed with Hunger Games.
Interesting.
So
So I don't know if they like to try to win. I don't know.
Oh.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Hmm.
Like complete opposite of fantasy.
Yeah.
I want to read Wild Side by Elsie Silver, another cowboy romance.
That's
which-
the next
okay.
one coming out,
Yes,
right?
it is.
Okay.
So that's the third in the
Third
series.
in that series.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm literally obsessed. If Elsie Silver writes anything, I'm gonna read it. So
I've heard nothing but good things about her.
Yeah,
I have
same. I
Wild
haven't read
Love on my
anything.
Kindle, so
Mhm.
I
Me
plan to
too.
start
I
it.
will say, if you read all of Elsie Silver's books and then read, have y'all heard of Layla Sage, like the Lost in Lassoed and
Okay.
stuff like
The
that?
Those don't-
Dune, what's the?
Done and Dusted.
Okay, I just added that one.
Okay.
So I feel like hot take. I feel like she copies everything Elsie Silver does
Oh.
because I read
Interesting.
Chestnut Springs series, and then I read Done and Dusted, and I think Lost in Lassoed is
Yeah.
the one that just came out.
Yeah.
It is literally blatant copyright, like same exact plot. And I was
Oh.
like, you know, that Taylor Swift song. I think I've seen
Seen
this
film
before.
Yeah.
Like literally same exact
Ugh.
thing.
Ew.
Okay, talking about ugly covers, I
Mhm.
can't get over the covers of those books.
Yeah, I feel
They're
like
super ugly.
Like the cartoony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Mm.
And that alone, I'm like,
I
don't wanna read
like
it.
Elsie Silver's books a lot. Like
the covers. Are
I like
so
the
pretty.
writing a lot better, and I like the covers a lot better.
They're gorgeous.
so-
I told you I judge a book.
Yeah,
So you better have a really pretty cover if you want me to read your book. Okay, so are we ready to talk Empyrean series?
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I could talk for 3 years about this, and I've only been reading it for a year.
So I'm rereading Fourth Wing right now, and I keep like going through and finding things, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this could be her signet.
See,
Ooh.
I can't get behind. Like, I understand why people, because that's like at the forefront of every conversation. Like, what is Violet's second signet? And Rebecca was like, "Oh, I thought it was pretty obvious." And we're all like, "What are you talking about? This is like the most controversial thing about Fourth Wing right now."
And
but
then she posted that video.
Of the picture.
Yes, of the picture. Of
But
the
I don't think
napkin.
that's-
Trust. It was Trust, right?
I think
No, Truth Slayer.
Truth Slayer. That's what it was.
But see, people think like based on like because at the end of Iron Flame where she's like writing Taryn and they're like making she's like we shouldn't be getting there at this time, like distance wielder.
Yeah.
But I
But
don't
that
know.
could go with Andarna's power already.
But and
time.
fully
No, but in the whole first
with
book.
the time thing.
Yeah.
it could
I
be
personally
associated.
think is distance wielder because Rebecca was talking in an interview about how if she had one signet, if she could choose one
That's what it
signet,
would be.
it would be distance wielder. And then they said that there hasn't been one in centuries.
since Andarna.
Yeah. And so, and then she's back. So
Okay,
why
but
wouldn't
also,
she be a distance wielder?
Isn't there a theory that she can take other people's, like an amplifier, like Kai
Yeah, I've seen
and
that.
Powerless? And if that's the case, she could be all of these things.
Right. And maybe that's why
True.
she's the most dangerous.
But she
But
couldn't
wouldn't
be a
she have to
distance
be
wielder
near
if
somebody?
Yes,
Yeah,
she
she'd
couldn't be a
have to be
distance
near
wielder
'em.
if there's no others.
yeah.
So maybe you're right.
I don't know. I don't think it's Truth Slayer like everybody's
I don't
saying.
know.
Because I think that's too obvious.
I
And
think
that's kind of what Dane
too-
is, essentially.
Kind of.
That, but also Zayden. Like,
Yeah.
he,
Yeah.
he
Oh,
can
he's an
read the
intrinsic.
intentions of people.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't think it would be anything closely related to like any of their abilities.
No, I feel like if it's
true.
something, she's going to make it something that nobody has. like
Correct.
distance
Because
builder.
Andarna is the only species of centuries
Right.
to exist. It has to be.
Or like
Could it be
something rare.
something that goes with time? Which distance could go with time.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
could.
About
Then Taryn
how-
also talked about how, like, when Feathertails lose, like, when they grow,
Mhm.
that they lose that original ability.
Yeah.
So
But
it could be nothing else. It could be something completely
Or
different.
could she lose it and it manifest into something else?
I don't know.
Possibly. Because everything about Andarna tells me that nothing is going to be the same. The way her scales
Yeah.
are, it
Mhm.
changes in whatever
Yeah.
perception that you see it in. So I think, like, her ability is not going to be one specific thing. I think it's going to, like the amplifier, like, it's adaptable. I don't
So
know.
maybe that.
Yeah.
And it all reflects. But they also say, like, their signet is not a reflection of the dragon, but of the wielder.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Okay, so what do we know about Violet that could manifest?
I mean, she could need to be in two places at once with Zayden
Because of Zayden.
and Bascath. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, there is an astral projector though already,
Quinn.
which,
I was
yeah,
just reading that. Yeah.
which is basically the same
Yeah.
thing.
But I don't
But
think that
she
she
can't-
would give that to her if somebody already has it, though. I
Agreed.
think it's
Yeah.
going to be something that
It has to
nobody
be.
else in the book has.
And it has to be something because she'll talk about, like, oh, we haven't seen this signet in this many years. Like, I think it is going to be one that has
Yeah.
not been seen since before Andarna.
Right. I don't
Which
know.
the lightning itself
Yeah.
is pretty unique.
Yeah. Didn't they say that hasn't been done in like?
I haven't got to that part yet. I can't remember.
I want to say it
What did
hasn't
you
been
say
done in
earlier?
forever.
Oh, okay. So I'm at the part where they're at Montserrat, and so Mira and her have just gone off to see Rhiannon's family, and they're talking, and Violet's annoyed because her signet hasn't manifested. And the part of the book, I was like, oh my god, this is so weird, because she was talking about how, and I keep having to read it because I'll forget it. She keeps saying, like, if you want your signet to manifest, then stop blocking it by thinking it has anything to do with mom. Your power is yours and yours alone, which she's a lightning wielder. Her mom could conjure storms.
Right.
Those are 100% intertwined.
Yeah.
Right. Well, they say that Violet has power to control the sky, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what if she has power to control the creatures in the sky and not just like the sky? So, like
Birds.
the dragons and the wyverns.
Because of how she fights the
Oh,
Right.
wyverns.
okay.
So, what if it's not necessarily just like the sky, but the creatures of the sky?
As her second signet? Or like
I
a
just-
part of?
Like, I think it's just part of it.
part
Like,
of
she
it,
just
yeah.
hasn't fully tapped into it yet. You know what I mean?
Oh,
because
yeah.
I think that it's just manifesting
Interesting.
as lightning right now because that's what she's like comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
She hasn't tapped into her full power, or else they wouldn't be so scared of her. I think
that, and
because
she's got 3 more books.
yeah,
to-
and apparently they're saying like she's part dragon or something like that now on the TikTok. So why wouldn't she be queen of the dragons? You know what I mean?
There is so much allusion to her
Mhm.
crown on her head. She is
Exactly.
going to be something.
Okay.
I-
Queen of
like-
the sky.
My end game, if I was to imagine how all these 5 books would end, would be Navarre being completely united and her being in charge.
Pull up that picture I sent you. I was reading earlier,
message.
and and there was a quote in the book that went along with this theory where Zayden had said something.
this one.
Yep.
When is this talking about when Rhiannon was talking about, like, you're not just a weapon sword girl, you are the weapon. You train this ability, own it, and you'll have the power to defend an entire kingdom.
Isn't that what
Exactly.
Zayden says? I think Zayden said that. But yeah,
Yes.
the power to control the entire kingdom,
Yes.
which would
And
allude to the fact
Rhiannon
that
made a point in one of their conversations at Vascath. Like, she was like, because everyone's like, oh, Zayden's the strongest rider, and she was like, no, you are the strongest rider.
Yeah.
she is obviously a lot more powerful than
Yes.
Zayden.
And then Andarna is like a special type of dragon,
Yes.
which I think we were talking about this at dinner the other night. I think she's half wyvern, half dragon, which would then go
Yeah.
into the fact that Violet can control both creatures. That's why she waited
Okay, yeah,
to
that does make
hatch.
True.
sense.
I can get behind that. But also, like, the whole dragon thing, it's called the Empyrean series, which
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Empyrean is the
Is
council
the-
of the dragons.
yeah.
Like, this story is not about Bascath. It's about the dragons.
The dragons, yeah.
Well, and there was even a part in Fourth Wing where it basically said, like, we don't have the control that you think we have. Like, the dragons are in charge. It was when she had bonded both dragons.
Yes.
And they were like, Dane said,
Because Melgren was like the council has to go and talk, and Taryn was like, well, good luck, because, like,
the dragons are in charge.
Yes.
It has nothing to
He
do
can
with
say
you.
what he wants. They like to think they're in
Yes.
control, but they're
Yep.
not.
Yep. So now is she going to control the Empyrean?
And if she
Like, is
controls
she gonna
the
be over-
Empyrean, is she
Is
going to be
she-
over everybody?
The kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Navarre is their home.
We're not going to get that far in Onyx Storm. There's no way.
I think Onyx Storm is going to absolutely gut wrench us. It's the halfway point of the series, and I just think that
We're going to find out the second segment. I guarantee it.
I think
I
so.
feel like
also,
Rebecca Yarros has alluded to it. I feel like.
Yes. Well, she said that she thought she made it blatantly obvious in the second book, which
And
I don't
everyone-
think, most controversial. But she also talked about how we will find out about her hair. Like, her hair plays into the storyline.
Oh, yeah.
And she's talked about that.
You know what I thought was interesting reading it back? Zayden refers to his bond with Violet, like their telepathic bond, as the silver streak. Did you notice that?
No, I haven't got to that yet. Because they haven't started
Oh.
talking to each other yet.
You're almost there then.
Because, well, yeah, but when they have that meeting in Montserrat, like,
Interesting.
yeah.
So I was like, I read it like 4 times. I was like, are they talking about her hair? And then I realized they were talking about.
Yeah.
Because
Because
I don't know if
anytime
that means anything. But
well, the first time he was talking in those extra Zayden point of view chapters, when he was talking about how she tapped in, like, it was, he could identify the power in his mind, like where he was trying to build his mental, like,
to her.
yes,
Yeah.
it was silver
Yeah.
in his head.
Yes. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know if that means anything, but
I'm sure it does.
it has to because
With Rebecca, I'm sure it does.
I feel like every time I read, I'm like, is this something?
Yeah.
Like, is this like a plot part?
well, I feel like
don't
I'm
know.
reading it again, literally just looking for like clues.
Oh, I know I am too. The second time I went through it, I was like, I can see these things now. Like, how the heck? Which I guess we know we had not been introduced to Venom yet, except for when she talks about the fables that her dad read to her, and then her fight with Jack on the mat, and she was like, well, his red rimmed eyes, like that should have been a like hello red flag, and I didn't even pick up on that until I read it third, fourth time. I was like,
But did you actually know what Benin were until the end of the book in Fourth Wing? Probably not.
No, I don't think so.
They don't really
Or, like,
describe
not
it until
really.
the very end.
they allude to it a lot, like with her mom and her, because I think the earlier part where she talks about, oh, well, we thought mom was a Venom, we joked about it because she
Yeah.
came back and her eyes were bloodshot. Like,
Yeah.
that should have been a tell. Okay, like that's a description of the Venom. I don't know,
Yeah.
but
Like her mom, and I've seen where they said that her dad like knew the cure to the venom.
yes.
And like used
so-
dragon blood to save her mom when she was pregnant with Violet, and that's why she has the silver streak. Like I've seen so much about, and that's why she's the dragon queen and all of that. So
Well, I'm curious, and I don't know. I don't want this to be a plot hole. Like, I want it to be something that it comes back to whenever she talks about her room being packed up, like right before she goes across the parapet. Like, she talks about all of her dad's journals were in that room. Like,
Yeah.
are we gonna see those again? Because that's where all of his notes were kept. And
That's
since
true.
her dad died, that Fable's been taken out of the archives,
That's
and
true.
and Violet was like, "What do you mean? Like, we kept everything." And so the archives have already changed since
Yeah.
her dad died, which is
Which
sketchy
is
to me.
interesting. You know what else is interesting? You had mentioned it before. Okay, so you have the idea that Brennan might be bad
yeah,
because he
I can get
has
behind
an
that.
orange
Oh, sorry.
dragon.
Yeah.
I love this
do.
theory.
Well, I
Go
mean,
for it.
like Jack has an orange dragon.
So does Varish.
Varish.
Yep.
All of the bad guys have an orange dragon, and then Brennan was bonded to an orange dragon. So
Yeah.
I just feel like there's some sort of twist coming with him.
And I could totally see Rebecca Yarros being like, I'm going to
Yeah.
give you this really amazing character just to like.
Take
Like,
him from
he's
you.
already survived
Right.
and
And
like
he's so
started this
nice and
revolution, but then like
amazing.
boom.
But like honestly, I'd rather them take Brennan from me than
Mira?
a lot of other people. So
Because you think Mira's going to die too.
yeah,
Being honest, I was not ready for Lilith to be taken from us. Like,
yeah.
plot twist, she had one of the best character developments, and I think she's going to also save herself even after she's died, like in the next 3 books. Like, I think her knowledge and like her care for her children is going to be key to unlocking
Yeah.
like the cure to the venom. I think
Yeah.
she plays such a bigger role even though
I think
she's already
she's
died.
left stuff for like Violet to
Yes.
find
Because they
to
have all
help.
those correspondence where she was already
Yeah.
looking when Nolan was a lot lower in his
Yeah.
ranking.
There's also the theory that all of this is written
wanna
way in
talk
the
about it.
future. And it makes sense because when you read back, so the theory is, if you don't know, that all of this Jacinia had written like however long in the future,
Yeah.
talking back about Violet's life, kind of like as like a biography. And if
The
you
history
look at,
Navarre.
and if you look at the foreword in Fourth Wing, it talks about this being written in
I have it right
Navarian.
here.
and
Translated
into the modern language by Justinia. So the modern language obviously is not Navarian. So what is the modern language? It's got to be something in the future.
All events are true and names have been preserved to honor the courage of those fallen. May their souls be commended to Malik.
Nope.
What? That is it. Yeah, well, that was the end of it.
Okay, yeah. But go back. Flip this way one more. It
Fallen
says...
text has been faithfully transcribed from Navarian into modern language.
Yeah.
This is why I think that the kingdom is going to be united. Because it's going to be transcribed, like translated into Navarian, which is going to be...
Or is it...
Did it say by or to? Either way, I think...
From Navarian.
Into the modern language.
Into the modern language.
Okay, so this is why I think... Either way, like I think it's going to be united. Like the continent is going to be united. She has too much of a relationship with the king of... Not Trinidor. It's... What's the northern...
Tirish?
No, that's the same thing as Trinidor. Let me pull out my trusty dusty map.
We love a fantasy map.
Do you know the first time I read this, I was trying to figure this out before I even read the book. Where is it that she goes?
I guess in theory, Navarian could
Moraine? Is it?
I don't know.
Where does she go where she meets Cat? Do you know what I'm talking about? With that king?
Yeah, I don't remember.
What is that place called?
I haven't read Iron Flame in so long.
I have not read Iron Flame since it came out.
Let me Google.
But maybe if she becomes queen and they like reunited, I guess, the kingdom, it was Navarian because the language was Navarian, and now there's a language that unifies everyone. The modern language.
The only
whatever that
thing that could save us from everyone being dead at the end of these 5 books in Rebecca Yarros, I pray that you don't do that to us, or I will never recover. I'm going to boycott reading. Like, I will never read a book again if Satan dies or if the entire thing is just like...
Okay, but didn't she posted a TikTok, didn't she, about how... Didn't you send that to us? About how Zayden wasn't... She would never do that to us or something like that?
Yeah, she said that. She asked if we had issues and said that she would... It's not going to be another Tamlin situation, so you're safe to get a tattoo, and that there's no story without Zayden.
Okay.
Right. Which makes me...
But Dane could die.
That's fine.
Dane very well could die.
I'm sorry. I hate Dane.
You can say that.
Peromiel.
Oh, Peromiel. Duh. Okay. So that whole relationship with that king, like, I think there's going to be more coming out with, like, that. But the only thing that I think will save that theory that everyone is dead is the fact that if they are united, Justinia is the head of the scribes, and she is responsible for transcribing the entire history of what used to be prior to the new kingdom.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing where I can see that this is not a tragic ending, which I feel like Rebecca Yarros is always trying to like stress us with that.
Yeah.
That could like we be stressing this whole time, and then she'd be like, oh, just kidding, everyone's living happily ever after. But she's also said she's not always a happily ever after writer. Like that's
no, she's not. If you've read the last letter.
Well, and if you've read
the thing was
the things we leave unfinished,
the last letter was worse.
Oh. The last letter was uncalled for.
The last letter,
it was uncalled for.
It was fantastic, but if you don't want to cry,
I don't want to.
You will cry from like page 1.
It made me not love the book because of how uncalled for the ending was.
I don't disagree with that.
Like I just feel like
it could have had such like a happy ending,
a great book, like 10 out of 10,
and then
6-star book.
I cried so much in the things we.
Are you gonna read the last letter?
I want to. I don't know.
Don't spoil it.
Okay.
Don't spoil it.
I
love anything that she writes.
She has no problem killing characters off. I just say that.
Yeah.
None.
Homegirl.
None. I know.
Yeah. When I get to that part, I'm probably gonna skip the chapter. I can't read it. I
just got to where
I'm waiting on my sister to get to that chapter.
Oh my gosh. I just got to where Jack ran him through with a sword. And then she kills Jack, and that's when her signet is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was like, does he die here? I can't remember.
Well,
but then
dies.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Did y'all
I hate Nowlin. I hope he dies. Nowlin.
Yeah.
Not Nowlin. Nolan. Sorry.
No, Nolan is the
one that works at Basket. Nowlin is the one that was bonded to Taryn before.
Which one's the one that was with Brennan?
Nowlin. Is that how you say his name? N-O-A.
N-A-O.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
He was the one that was bonded to Taryn.
And he's the one that was supposedly best friends or whatever with Brennan.
Whatever with Brennan enough to
Do you think that's why
him.
Taryn bonded Violet? Because of the bond between Brennan and Violet?
Probably, because he knew.
That's possible.
He knew that Brennan was alive because he's made it to Segale, and
yeah,
Zayden's been going to Aricia ever since.
Yeah.
Did y'all see what Rebecca posted on her Instagram?
Are you talking about that excerpt
with Jack?
No.
You didn't?
You didn't read it?
You can fight it all you want, but the power
I
streaming
did see
through
that.
her veins. There's a reason the higher-ups want her. A little brotherly advice. Fall in line and find someone else to
Brotherly
do bad
advice.
things with. That infamous control of yours so much as flickers in her direction. And then it goes off. Even I don't get a say in which parts of us are taken first. But speaking from personal experience, control goes quickly. Just look at you. You'll slip.
Okay, so the higher-ups. I think that is going to be a plot bomb of someone that we know. The higher-ups of the Venin. It's going to have to be someone that has
already been introduced. Yeah. Otherwise, it's not going to hit as hard.
No, and we're not going to care. But would he have to be Venin to be higher-ups?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
He has the connection with his mom.
I was about to say there is a theory about Zayden's mother being
Venin.
Zayden's. Were you talking about Lilith?
But, okay.
Yeah, I was talking about Lilith.
Why else would Brennan be there if he wasn't in cahoots with Zayden's mother then?
It has to be someone we know.
It might be two peoples we know.
Higher ups, yeah.
So what happens?
An entire council.
Yeah.
What happens with Zayden? Are we thinking he's going to push Violet away?
Oh God, yeah.
Well, at some point, there's going to have to be a rift between the two. I
100% think that Zayden and Violet are going to break up. In this book.
Oh, in this book.
Yeah.
Not for good.
Not for good.
Okay.
No, not for good.
Something is going to. But, like, also,
I agree with that. What do they do because they're made it? Like, because of their dragons. They literally have to be together.
They don't have to. I mean, they don't have to.
Not
physically, but they have to be around each other.
Yeah.
I also don't know because the first and second book was so much of them trying to put a handle on their relationship. Like, would we drag out this fight for the relationship throughout all 5 books?
Again, Miss Rebecca posted song that goes with.
Oh, I know.
How am I supposed to love you when I don't know who I am? How can I give you all of me when I'm only half a man? Those are the lyrics.
Because he's half Venom.
Verbatim. How am I supposed to give you all of me?
I think he's going to fight it, and Violet's going to be like, no, we're going to fix this.
I don't know. I think they have to break up at some point. I think.
All I know is.
There's 5 books. They have to break up.
But I don't think it'd be out of, like, hatred. I think it'd be Zayden trying to protect Violet.
They just got together at the end, though, because she fought him so hard in Iron Flame in the beginning because she was mad about the whole Brennan thing.
He had to go and do something stupid.
If he didn't, she was going to, though. I wholeheartedly believe that. If he did not, she would have. But would that have been such an issue? Or is she tied to Venom?
Right. I don't know.
There's too much.
How do y'all think that our lovely Scale is taking Zayden becoming Venom?
Like,
probably
on a scale of
terrible. Right?
I mean, I think.
Yeah.
I've seen theories where one of them breaks the bond or something. One of them might break the bond.
Oh my God, like in ACOTAR?
What happens in that case then?
Aiden and his dragon Scale will break the bond because of him.
Not Scale and Taryn.
Right.
Okay. Oh, that made me think of a theory that I've heard that I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
But people are going to say that Taryn's going to die.
No.
In this book.
At some
point.
I don't think she kills off Taryn. I think if she kills off anybody,
I think like the writer. I was like, Violet would not kill. But
no,
okay, so you kill without a rider without his dragon is dead. You kill Sigale, you kill Zayden.
But he's already half dead.
If you kill Taryn, she's still bonded to Andarna. She would not be affected.
Sigale?
Right.
Or Violet is. That's true.
I don't know because I don't think it would really affect him right now if you killed him because he's half Venom. So he's already half dead anyway. So I don't know how that works.
Because Jack still stayed bonded to his dragon.
Right.
So how would they break their bond?
I don't know. I've just seen that she's like royally pissed off at him, and apparently, like something goes on between them.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that affects him and Violet's relationship.
Well, if they're not bonded, then they don't have to be together.
Right. But I don't know how like that affects Taryn and Scale and then Violet and Zayden. There's a lot of places that could go with this.
Also,
there's so many different places.
I think the King's son. We're not done with him.
No. I've seen a theory that he's Violet's ex-boyfriend.
Oh, 100%. I agree with that.
Yeah.
There's some weird. Okay, but she talks about how she's been with 2 people.
Okay.
And one of them is not Dane.
Right.
We don't know who the 2 are.
Right.
So I think we're going to find that out. And I do think one of them is the King's son.
I think we get to see Zaddy get jealous.
I love that.
I think we get jealous Zaddy in this book
I could
because
see that.
we're gonna need the king's son for something.
Yes.
So he has to be around Violet.
Mm-hmm.
And Zaddy's.
Do you think he gets jealous around Dane in the first book?
No.
Or you think
I
he
think
just
he
knows
knows that
that?
Violet
From
not
that
like
point
him.
of view chapter, though, have you read the other
Yes,
ones?
yeah.
Okay, so when he sees Dane kiss her,
Mhm.
Yeah,
he
gets
immediately
frustrated.
gets frustrated.
Yes.
But then he's like, she's not returning
Right.
the emotion.
I think initially realized she did not like
Mhm.
him.
Yeah.
Maybe he got
I
a
need
little
more
bit
Zayden
jealous.
POVs.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
What
She
if
does
Onyx
that
Storm?
in every other book except for Fourth
I was gonna
Wing?
say, what if
Yes.
Onyx Storm is?
That'd be great.
I mean, he's a big enough character at this point that she could do it.
I
yeah.
love
She could
how
totally do
Zayden just disses Dane the whole
Uh-huh.
time. It's my favorite thing I've ever read. I'm like, that is honestly so relatable, and that's how I feel about Dane.
Accurate.
Do you remember when you read Iron Flame and I went and I sent you this long text about
Yeah, it was like 5 pages.
I
Oh my
kept
gosh.
the notepad. I kept it.
Did you really?
Yeah, and so I was like reading through it. Okay, so we were talking about this the other day. I think Venons are old scribes.
Yeah, I could see
I completely just believe because they talk about
That
how
makes sense.
they draw on the knowledge.
What about
and
Jack though?
that. Well, he got
well, like
turned,
the
I think.
original. The
Oh, okay.
original might be
That
old
makes sense.
scribes or like
And that would be why they want history changed, so that current
Which
people
might
don't
be
know.
why they want Violet so much.
yes.
try to
Because
turn her.
Yeah, she's got the mind of a
That's true.
scribe.
Yeah, because I wrote
Yeah.
like scribes are connected to Venom because of them having
Mhm.
all the power in the world and because knowledge is power.
Right.
So where does Jasenia lie in this?
I don't
I
think
think she's
Jasenia is
good.
bad. I think
I do
Jasenia
too.
is a good queen. We love
Really?
her. Oh my gosh. Sawyer and Jasenia. I am here for them.
Yes.
I am here for it.
I am too.
God, I hope that they have a little side plot.
I hope
Okay.
Riddick becomes a bigger character.
Oh, he's hilarious.
I love Riddick.
I do too. He's hilarious.
Where
He's great.
Or
Garrick. I like him too.
I like Riddick. And then but I'm just here for Sawyer and Jasenia.
That would be really cute.
I think she's sweet. And I think he's
Me
sweet.
too.
And I hope she can somehow bring Liam back. I don't know.
Where do we think
Liam.
Sloane fits into all this?
I don't even know who that is right
His little sister.
Oh.
The mean one.
But their relationship became
Yeah.
a lot better.
It did.
I
but
think
still.
her character is going to get bigger in the third book
I think so,
because
too.
her and Violet are going to bond the same way her
Right.
and Liam did. Like how it's
Yeah.
going to become that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that like close knit unit of the traders' kids are going to be like all of them, and it's going to include Sloane.
Yeah.
She's been too much of an important character in Iron Flame. To
Right.
just kinda write her off.
They've
Yeah.
put too much focus on her and like
Mhm.
Violet taking her under her wing.
Yeah.
Well, and before
yeah.
Iron Flame came out, everyone was like, who is Sloane? Is she going to be deaf? Remember that?
Mhm.
That whole theory?
Yeah.
Not that I think she's deaf, but she was such a big character in the theories
Mhm.
before Iron Flame. So, I don't know. I feel like she had a big part in Iron Flame, but I feel like she's not done.
Yeah, I don't think she's done. I don't know where they're gonna go with her.
I don't either.
But I don't think she's done.
Oh, okay. I didn't think about this. Okay, so I think Onyx Storm is going to open up a lot about the Empyrean like history
Mm-hmm.
and talk about Andarna's breed. And I had written
Yeah.
in here, because obviously we know that the last time they got rid of Venom was 600 years ago, which was the last time a breed of Andarnas hatched.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then I also said Andarna was able to torch the Venom, and Jack also tried killing her at threshing, and he was already Venom when he did that. So
Was he?
Yes, because it was after, right?
It's not stated in Fourth Wing, but obviously. So
Because
I don't
he-
know.
they
I don't
talk-
remember.
I can't remember the timeline because he talks about how
Did he not turn Venom after he died? Quote unquote.
no, he turned Venom before when he drew power. He was Venom before he died.
Okay.
Goes back to my orange dragon theory. And Brennan had an orange dragon. Maybe he's targeting the people with orange dragons.
You think he's targeting them?
Or like recruiting them.
Recruiting.
Do you know what's
Okay.
also weird that's been like a very common theme is
Mhm.
the bad breath theory.
I haven't seen that. What's
That the
that?
dragons have like they talk about, I think it was Varish's dragon having like dank breath. And then they also talk about Dane's breath.
Oh,
Like in the
Interesting.
same capacity, like the same
Okay.
descriptions are used.
So is there a connection to Dane?
I don't know.
Was he too much of the like
Interesting.
enemy in Fourth Wing and redeemed himself slightly in Iron Flame?
You think
Literally
he redeemed
nothing
himself?
could make me love you, Dane.
I was gonna say, I don't think he redeemed himself at all.
Oh
I
my
do
gosh.
think
He
that
betrayed
Dane-
her.
Right. At
I
the
don't
end of
think
Fourth
Dane-
Wing,
I
but
don't-
he worked so hard throughout Iron Flame
To fix it.
to fix it. I do think he's
Yeah.
going to have to sacrifice himself. I think he's going to die.
Oh, I wouldn't be
I
surprised by
hope
that.
Do we think that the third book ends with a death that like wrecks us or
For sure. I think
or earlier in the
in
book?
true Rebecca fashion, something is going to absolutely gut us at the end of this book.
And then she's going to wait
and
2
it's the
years to release the
midpoint.
fourth one.
It's the middle of the series. Like, something is going to gut us.
And then we have to wait
I'm going to have
a
to
year and a
take days
half.
off of work.
Oh, I've already told Brandon I'm not going in that day.
Sorry.
Because we're
Mabel's
going to
closed.
the midnight release.
Yes.
And then I'm going to take a nap before the midnight release. And then I'm going to stay up reading. Then I'm going to
Oh my
drive my kids to
gosh.
school.
You're going to stay up and
You're staying
read?
up all
I
night,
don't know if I'm going to stay up on.
It's smaller than Iron Flame.
but it's bigger than Fourth Wing.
Is it? I can't remember.
I think so.
People
She said
were
something about 10,000 words and then 25,000 words.
No.
I don't know.
I'm going to take a little nappy nap before. You go to the midnight release. Read some chapters. Maybe put it
You
down.
got to work the next
I
day.
do.
I am not going. You need to take off, girl.
It's after a holiday, so I can't.
Ugh.
I'm not reading it that night. I'm probably going to bed.
I'm gonna get it. I might. Maybe we can do like popcorn reading at school. I don't know. I'm just kidding. My kids have no idea what
I
I'm
have
thinking.
to read something, so y'all have to read something.
Everyone gather around.
I'll read the story to you.
Lord.
I'm gonna have
Just
to
kidding,
start it
but,
when I get home because once I start it, I'm not gonna be able to put it down.
Yeah.
Because I'm that reader
Yeah.
that if I read something new and it hooks me, I have to finish it. Have to,
Like
or I
Variation?
cannot get it. Variation read it in 3 days. Like I had to finish it. I was
Yeah.
reading it in our car.
If we all finish it super quick, we might have to do a bonus podcast.
Absolutely.
We might have to be
I'm-
like,
I'm
we need
I'm
to come.
boycotting all social media until I'm done reading it.
I
I can't get
So,
on.
There might be a bonus podcast coming
Little
out
snippet. We're just gonna sit
week
here in
after?
silence.
to the last week of January.
I literally, after I finished Iron Flame, like could not speak for 2 weeks.
yeah.
I was like,
I don't think I picked up a book after that. Like
it was awful. I remember texting you my reactions
It
and
took
then
me
like
a solid
standing
week.
at my like island and being like, what the heck did I just read?
Because I had just started reading. I didn't have any reading friends.
Yeah.
Well, you have us
I
now.
mean, now I do, but at the end of that book, I was like, what happened?
what if we got together and read the end of the book together?
And recorded.
That would be so
Like
fun.
what if we
Like,
saved like the last 5 chapters?
yeah.
and just sat here and
Is
read
she kinda
live.
like? Does she give? Okay, because Sarah J. Maas. I mean, I knew the moment I hit the last 100 pages, like
It
I was
gonna
gonna
wreck.
like,
Well, that's what happened with Iron Flame too. So
okay. So last
Maybe
100
the last
pages.
100 pages.
Save
it'll
it.
Take us to read all together,
I mean, I read
Hour and a
pretty
half.
fast if I'm
We
like,
can do the like
2
the
hours,
fast forward. Yeah,
and then talk about it.
yeah,
we have to read it together.
Okay.
Friday night. That Friday night?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's on Monday. Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
if it comes out on a Monday for sure. Maybe I can
It's Monday
pre-plan all
night.
of my lessons.
so
I don't-
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
for
but I
sure
should have it done by Friday.
Recording that Friday night.
Okay.
We're
We have a
gonna-
lot of
we're
reading to
gonna-
do. Well, I guess
Well,
we only have that
not
minus
but-
100 pages. So.
Right. That minus 100
Okay,
pages.
so the podcast will be us reading the last 100 pages, and then
bonus
reactions.
podcast. We might.
I'm gonna get
Pull
done.
that up Saturday, girl.
We'll just do the last like 5 minutes of us reading. the book. Okay, I've only cried like 3 times reading, so
Or we could record the whole last hour or 100 pages and snip it,
yeah, we can
Or
skip it. That'd be a good idea.
and then do.
So be looking for that. Right
Oh my
after
gosh.
Onyx Storm.
That was like a live planning.
You're welcome.
That's cool.
Oh,
It's
no.
gonna be so good.
I'm not ready.
Yeah.
Any theories?
Yeah, I am. No, I don't think so. I was gonna say I'm looking forward to Fearless also, but that's another story.
Another
That's the other
podcast
big
for
one that
another
we're
day.
really looking forward to. So
Yeah.
Because it's a definite trilogy, right?
Mhm.
I don't know.
I think she's come out. And
So it's like done. I don't
pretty
know.
sure when I first talked about Powerless being like when I saw it being advertised, it was a trilogy, and she did say that she's not done writing the novellas. Like we might get another side story.
Ooh. I think the trilogy might be done though.
I
But
think it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I don't know. That'll be a good one. But Onyx Storm, I don't know. Do anything else?
I'm excited.
I don't know.
No.
You'll get all the live coverage. We may even throw out some TikToks that week of all kinds of Fourth Wing stuff.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
So,
but in the meantime, until then, you should check out our book club on Fable.
Yeah.
We are reading, if you didn't listen to the first podcast, we're reading Variation this month.
So good. When I tell you the amount of times I texted them every time I finished a chapter and I was like, my jaws dropped.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I can't.
Was it 6 stars?
6-star read.
6 stars.
That's like so rare.
I'm really picky about my 5-star reads because I'm like, there's always room for growth. But I think that's also me as a teacher. Like, always room for growth.
I think I only have like 5 or 6 6-star reads ever.
Fourth Wing, Iron and Flame.
Yep.
Variation.
4 Winds
What's
and
the
Firefly
common
Lane.
denominator? Oh, Shepherd King.
That's a 5-star.
I kind of
almost
like Shepherd King.
Okay, hot take.
What?
But I mean, I love them both the same. They're both 6 stars to me. So
it's a 5-star read. 5-star.
If
you want something different than your normal fantasy read, Shepherd King series was so unique. I've not seen anything like it.
I also feel like I could ask a friend to read Fourth Wing who does not read anything like this, and they probably would love it.
True.
I don't know that I could do the same with the Shepherd King. It's
to,
a little dark. It's not even dark, but
it's not dark.
It's
gothic.
It's very fantasy. Well, like I've heard a lot of people who love fantasy trash Fourth Wing. Yeah. But it's also like that was her first ever non-contemporary romance.
It's fantastic.
It was so good.
So I feel like what makes it so good is it's so like intricate. There's so many like things that you can have theories on, and it's not just like a straightforward book. I feel like
I just
the Shepherd King is more straightforward.
Chart.
Oh my god,
where she planned stuff.
It's like Taylor Swift vibes with all her Easter eggs, and I live for it. Like if Taylor Swift does not release a book about all of her Easter eggs one day before she dies, I'm not gonna be okay. Like we'll always just wonder.
So
why? What does this mean?
I enter all those giveaways on Goodreads. There was a Taylor Swift one today. I was like, if I get it, McKenzie can have it.
What is
or
it?
Kaylee.
Is it like a?
I don't know what it was.
Interesting.
It was about her cats, I think. I think it was about Meredith.
I
think.
I love that. It's fine. I have on my friendship bracelet. All my kids make me. I have like 70 of these that my kids have made me.
That's so fun.
Wow.
So yeah. If you want to subscribe, hit the subscribe button. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
Moms That Read.
And check us out on Fable for our book club.
Yeah.
And join us next time.